Welcome back to Formidable Fabrications. I'm Jamie, and behind me is an Exmark mower. Nothing special, you may think, but this is actually the third Exmark mower that this client has brought me, and it seems like this is a very common problem. Now, I don't know if you guys out there have had these same problems with these Exmark walk-behinds, but this is the third mower that has been brought to me with this exact problem. Not on this side. That side's perfectly fine as I shake the mower. It's just that other side. The exact same spot, the exact same kind of break. So leave a comment below if you've had this kind of problem with your Exmark walk-behind. So anyway, I thought if you guys have a problem, I'll show you how I fix it. By the third one, I think I've kind of almost become like a pro with this. So anyway, first thing we need to do is get these things loose. Well, get these things detached properly, which entails taking off these control rods that go to the levers, which I've already taken this one off and this one off. And then we have to take off the lever for the speed control. And once we do that, the only thing holding it on is the throttle cable, which we'll leave attached. And we'll just essentially hang these down on top of the sulky. So, all right, let me put you on the stand and let's get this thing disassembled, and so we can get this thing repaired and back to the client. All right, so if you can see right in here where my fingers are, there's a bolt up here, which I just took out, and there's a bolt down here, which needs to come out. Now the top bolt, this one I already took out, is easy to get to, but the second one is a little trickier. You need 2 wrenches to get to it. Now the last mower that came in didn't have the bottom bolt on either one, so I don't know what happened to that one. But I replaced those bolts, and I'm thinking that's why the last one broke, because the other bolt wasn't in there, making the handles flop back and forth, causing extra stress on it. So this other side is different because the bolt is back here, but you got to take this hydraulic tank off. And of course I'm a great idiot because I keep forgetting I have this power ratchet, which is so much nicer than cranking on stuff. There's a few wire ties holding these wires on here that we got to cut off. I get pulled out, and this can just hang there. So now you can see how this goes on. Just like that. So my guess is, since it goes around, that the stress of this being flattened plus the stress of this must have something to do with it. So like I said, I don't know if it's a poor design. This particular guy is hard on his equipment. I know that for a fact. I've been working on his equipment for years. So if you look back at some of his older videos, you actually see a video of a Toro walk-behind that is missing a wheel, and that's the way he dropped it off to me. And then I think there's another video where I was making a snowplow for a walk-behind. So it's that guy, but yeah, just to give you an idea. So we need to get all this cleaned up. We need to get all this cleaned up on this side and the other side so we can get it welded. So my weapon of choice when working with small stuff like that is the DeWalt angle grinder, because it doesn't rotate as fast and it doesn't have quite as much power as an AC one that you would plug into the wall. So when I'm working on this smaller stuff, I feel like I have a little bit more control over what I'm doing. So I'm not, so if this thing were to catch, it wouldn't just fly off, especially with something that I have really no good way to anchor it to anything to do it. And the metal evidently is so stressed that it honestly just grinds off pretty quickly anyway. So the trick I found on these things too, which I found out the hard way on the first one, is I don't like to get too much into here or inside the metal when I grind. Like, I don't want to grind this smooth or anything. I want to keep it the exact same contour as what it originally was. So when I put this back on, it lines up almost perfectly to where it's supposed to be. The first one I did, I ground all this nice and smooth and all that nice and smooth. So when it went back on, when I eyeballed it, it wasn't really square. So I ended up having to cut it off and redo it all. All right, let's tack it. Now, if you didn't see that, when I welded this back corner here, the metal was so thin and stressed that as soon as the heat hit it, it literally shot a piece out. So I ended up having to fill that corner in with weld. So that makes me wonder if this is just a poor quality metal, or if there's something more going on with these that they keep breaking here. So there you go, probably like a whole hour of work to take this thing apart, put it back together for, I don't know what, 30 seconds of welding. So I turned the heat up really high. I know that penetrated really well. I put a lot of buildup on there to make sure it was nice and hot in there. All right, well, I grinded it off. So the main goal is to get this part smooth, because this part is what mounts up against this surface here when you put the bolts through it. This part, not so much. So I just kind of cleaned up the little pointy parts of the weld and throw some paint on it. I'll call it a day. And there you go. That's mint. Looks factory to me. Okay, it's done. Everything's welded up and it is ready to go. This is a fuel injected engine, which is kind of neat because there's no choke on this.